My beloved child. There is a quiet space that exists alongside daily life, a space where sound softens and moments seem to rest rather than move. It is a space that does not ask for attention, and it does not demand meaning. It simply exists, like a pause between thoughts, like a breath that happens without effort. In this space, it can feel natural to notice that not every conversation includes us, not every exchange reaches our ears, and not every shared moment is meant to be known. This awareness can arrive gently, without drama, and sit beside us in a calm way. There are times when the world feels full of voices, yet somehow distant. Words are spoken in rooms we are not in, and decisions are discussed without our presence. This is not unusual, and it is not personal in the way it can sometimes seem. It is part of how life flows, with many parallel moments happening at once. Not all of them intersect, and not all of them need to. Recognizing this can bring a sense of quiet acceptance, a feeling of being at ease with what is seen and unseen. It can be interesting to notice how the mind responds when thinking about conversations that happen elsewhere. Thoughts may drift toward curiosity, or toward a mild sense of distance. Sometimes there is a feeling of wondering, not sharp or urgent, just a gentle wondering that comes and goes. These thoughts do not need to be solved. They can be observed in the same way one might notice clouds passing across the sky, present for a while and then changing shape. In moments like this, there can be comfort in the idea that not knowing everything is part of being human. Awareness has natural boundaries, and those boundaries can offer rest. When everything is not within reach, there is room for quiet. There is room for the mind to settle without having to follow every thread. This does not take anything away from one's sense of value or presence. It simply reflects the many layers of experience that exist at the same time. The rhythm of life includes pauses as much as it includes sound. Conversations occur, end, and fade, much like footsteps that pass by and then move on. Some of these footsteps are close enough to hear clearly, while others remain at a distance. Neither carries more meaning than the other. They are simply different expressions of movement and connection in a shared world. There can be a gentle reassurance in realizing that being outside a conversation does not imply exclusion or absence. It can simply mean that attention is resting elsewhere for a moment. Presence does not require constant participation. It can exist quietly, without commentary, without explanation. This kind of presence can feel steady and grounded, like standing near a calm body of water and watching the surface reflect light. Emotions that arise in these moments do not need to be named or categorized. They can be felt as soft impressions, subtle shifts in mood or awareness. They do not need to lead anywhere. They can simply be part of the current moment, acknowledged without judgment. This approach allows space for balance, a sense that nothing needs to be adjusted or fixed. Patience often feels less like waiting and more like allowing. Allowing conversations to exist without needing to hear them. Allowing thoughts to pass without needing to hold on to them. Allowing the present moment to be enough as it is. In this allowance, there is a quiet strength that does not announce itself. It does not compete for attention. It simply remains. The idea of rest can extend beyond the body into the mind. Mental rest can be found in moments when there is no effort to interpret or analyze what others might be saying. This rest does not depend on certainty. It is supported by a gentle trust in the natural unfolding of interactions, both seen and unseen. This trust is not a belief about outcomes. It is a soft acknowledgement of the present state of things. There is something grounding about returning attention to what is immediately here. The subtle sounds in the room, the steady sensation of breathing, the quiet awareness of being present. These elements do not require interpretation. They exist in a simple, direct way. They offer a sense of steadiness that does not rely on external conversations or explanations. When thoughts about distant conversations arise, they can be met with curiosity rather than concern. Curiosity does not push or pull. It observes and then releases. It allows the mind to remain open without becoming crowded. This openness can feel spacious, like a room with windows letting in soft light. Inner balance often comes from recognizing what belongs to the present moment and what does not. Conversations happening elsewhere belong to their own context. They do not define this moment. This moment stands on its own, complete in its quiet simplicity. Acknowledging this can bring a sense of ease that settles naturally. It can be helpful to notice how the body responds to calm reflection. Muscles may soften, breathing may become more even, and the overall sense of being may feel less hurried. These responses are not goals or achievements. They are natural reflections of a quieter internal environment. They arise without being summoned. There is no need to assign meaning to every interaction or lack of interaction. Some things simply occur without carrying personal significance. Allowing this understanding to exist can lighten the mental landscape. It creates room for rest, for stillness, and for a gentle acceptance of complexity without needing to resolve it. In the background of daily life, there is often a constant hum of activity. Conversations, thoughts, and impressions move continuously. Choosing to notice a quieter layer beneath this hum can feel grounding. This layer does not require attention to detail. It exists as a steady presence, offering a sense of calm continuity. Reflecting on conversations that happen without us can also highlight the interconnectedness of life. Many experiences unfold simultaneously, each with its own context and rhythm. This does not diminish individual presence. It simply reflects the richness of shared existence. Recognizing this can bring a subtle sense of belonging that does not depend on inclusion in every moment. There is value in allowing oneself to simply be, without striving to be informed or involved at all times. This state of being does not withdraw from life. It engages in a quieter way, respecting natural limits and rhythms. It acknowledges that awareness has a shape, and that shape does not need to expand endlessly. The present moment offers enough to rest in. Sensations, thoughts, and feelings arise and pass, each contributing to a sense of gentle movement. There is no need to follow each one. Observing them with a calm, neutral attention allows them to exist without becoming overwhelming. This calm attention does not judge what appears. It does not label experiences as good or bad. It simply notices. In this noticing, there is space for reassurance that does not rely on explanations. It is reassurance rooted in the simple fact of being present and aware. Conversations that happen elsewhere continue in their own way, independent of this moment. They do not interrupt the quiet awareness available here. This separation does not create distance, it creates clarity. It allows each moment to be what it is, without overlap or confusion. Rest can be understood as a quality of attention rather than an absence of activity. Even while life continues around us, attention can settle into a calm, steady state. This kind of rest supports inner balance without requiring changes in circumstance. It is available in small, ordinary moments. Gentle reassurance can be found in the idea that not everything needs to be known or addressed. Some things remain outside awareness, and that is part of the natural order. Accepting this can reduce mental strain and invite a softer relationship with uncertainty. There is a quiet dignity in allowing life to unfold without constant observation. This dignity does not seek validation. It does not compare. It simply exists, grounded in the present experience. This grounding can feel supportive, like standing on solid ground without needing to look down. Thoughts about others' conversations can come and go, just as sounds fade in and out of awareness. They do not require action. They can be acknowledged and then allowed to pass. This approach respects the transient nature of thoughts without giving them undue weight. Inner balance often reflects a willingness to let moments be incomplete. Not every story needs an ending, and not every question needs an answer. Holding this understanding gently can create a sense of openness that feels calm rather than unsettled. In the quiet of reflection, there is room for subtle appreciation of the present. The simplicity of being here, now, without demands or expectations, this simplicity does not lack depth. It carries its own richness, found in the gentle awareness of existence itself. Patience in this context feels like a steady presence rather than a process. It does not anticipate change or improvement. It rests with what is currently experienced, allowing it to be sufficient. This form of patience supports a calm relationship with time as it is perceived in the moment. There is no need to measure or evaluate the significance of conversations that happen elsewhere. Their meaning belongs to their context. This moment holds its own meaning, independent and complete. Recognizing this can bring a quiet sense of autonomy that does not isolate but rather grounds. The mind can find rest in allowing awareness to be broad and unfocused. Instead of narrowing in on specific details, it can remain open to the general sense of being present. This openness can feel soothing, like a wide horizon without a need to move toward it. Emotional tones that arise during reflection can be subtle and layered. They do not need to be clarified. Allowing them to exist without definition can prevent them from becoming heavy or complex. They remain light, like impressions rather than statements. There is comfort in knowing that presence does not require constant interaction. Silence and observation are valid forms of participation in life. They offer a different perspective, one that values stillness alongside activity. The idea of conversations happening without us can highlight the natural flow of attention. Attention shifts from one place to another, guided by circumstance and interest. This movement is not a reflection of worth or importance. It is simply how awareness operates. Finding rest in this understanding can ease the tendency to personalize absence. Absence from a moment does not equate to absence from connection. Connection exists in many forms, some quiet and indirect, some immediate and shared. In the present moment, there is an opportunity to experience calm without seeking it. Calm can be noticed as it already exists, perhaps beneath layers of thought. Recognizing it does not require effort. It involves allowing awareness to settle naturally. Gentle reassurance can also come from the realization that life includes both participation and observation. Both are integral parts of experience. Neither holds more value than the other. They alternate naturally, creating a balanced rhythm. The quiet awareness of being present can feel like a steady anchor. It does not resist movement or change. It simply provides a point of reference, a sense of stability within the ongoing flow of experiences. When reflecting on conversations that happen elsewhere, it can be helpful to notice the spaciousness that remains. This space is not empty. It holds the potential for rest, for clarity, and for a gentle sense of peace that does not depend on external factors. There is no requirement to fill this space with interpretation. Allowing it to remain open can be restful. It offers a pause from analysis and a return to simple awareness. In this simplicity, there is room for quiet appreciation of the present moment as it is. Sounds, sensations, and thoughts coexist without needing to interact. They form a background of experience that supports calm presence. Inner balance is often supported by recognizing limits without resistance. Awareness has boundaries, and those boundaries allow for focus and rest. Accepting them can feel grounding rather than restrictive. The idea that not all conversations include us can be seen as a reflection of the vastness of experience. There is more happening than can be perceived at any one time. This vastness does not overwhelm when approached with gentle acceptance. Calm reflection does not require conclusions. It can exist as an ongoing awareness, open and receptive. This openness allows experiences to pass through without leaving a heavy imprint. Rest, in this sense, becomes an attitude rather than an activity. It is present in the way attention meets each moment. Soft, neutral, and unhurried. The present moment continues to offer itself quietly. It does not compete with thoughts about elsewhere. It remains available, steady and unchanged by what is unseen. Acknowledging this availability can bring a sense of reassurance that is subtle and steady. It does not promise anything beyond the moment. It simply affirms the sufficiency of what is here now. There is a gentle completeness in allowing moments to stand on their own. Conversations that happen elsewhere do not diminish this completeness. They exist alongside it, each within their own sphere. The awareness of this balance can support a calm, reflective state that feels natural and unforced. It does not require maintenance. It arises from allowing experience to be as it is. In this quiet reflection, there is space for being without explanation. Presence does not need justification. It exists as a simple fact, steady and accessible. This steadiness can be felt as a subtle undercurrent, supporting awareness even as thoughts drift. It remains, quiet and consistent, offering a sense of rest within movement. There is no urgency in this space. Time feels less segmented, less driven by anticipation. It unfolds gently, moment by moment, without pressure. Conversations that happen without us continue, and this moment continues as well. Both coexist without conflict. Recognizing this coexistence can feel calming, like two parallel streams flowing side by side. In the end, this reflection does not seek to change perception or understanding. It simply offers a quiet acknowledgement of the present experience. In that acknowledgement, there is room for calm, balance, and gentle reassurance, held softly within the moment as it is. There is another way to notice the moment, one that arrives quietly, without needing an introduction or a reason to be here. As awareness continues to rest in this calm space, it may become easier to sense how experiences layer themselves gently, one over another. Some layers are close, almost tangible, while others remain distant, like echoes softened by time and space. None of them compete for attention unless attention is offered. This realization can bring a subtle sense of ease, as if the mind has permission to remain open without being pulled in every direction. Thoughts may continue to appear, each carrying its own tone and texture. Some feel light and brief, others more lingering, yet all share the same temporary quality. They arise, they remain for a moment, and then they shift. Observing this movement without becoming involved allows a quiet stability to form, one that does not depend on holding or releasing anything deliberately. In this stability, there is room to recognize how much of life unfolds without direct participation. This is not a loss. It is simply a feature of shared existence. Many moments pass by quietly, complete in themselves, without ever needing to intersect with personal awareness. Allowing this understanding to settle can soften the tendency to measure experience by proximity or involvement. There is a gentle neutrality available in seeing events as they are, without assigning weight or meaning beyond their presence. Conversations elsewhere, thoughts here, sensations moving through awareness, all coexist without hierarchy. This equality among experiences can feel balancing, as if nothing needs to be elevated or dismissed. As attention rests, it may notice the subtle rhythm of the present. This rhythm is not marked by clocks or schedules. It is felt through the natural pacing of breath, the rise and fall of sound, the quiet intervals between thoughts. Tuning into this rhythm does not require effort. It is already there, steady and unassuming. Moments of reflection can reveal how often the mind seeks context, explanations, or narratives. Yet there is also value in allowing moments to remain undefined. When experiences are not immediately shaped into stories, they retain a softness that feels spacious. This softness offers rest, not as an escape, but as a gentle settling into what is already present. The awareness that not every exchange includes us can highlight the difference between presence and participation. Presence does not depend on interaction. It exists quietly, observing without commentary. Participation, when it occurs, emerges naturally from circumstance rather than necessity. Recognizing this difference can reduce internal tension, allowing attention to remain flexible. As reflections continue, it may become apparent that curiosity can exist without needing resolution. Curiosity can simply notice, appreciate, and then move on. This form of curiosity feels light, unburdened by expectation. It allows the mind to remain engaged without becoming crowded. The environment itself can support this calm reflection. The quality of light, the texture of silence, the way sounds drift in and out of awareness, all contribute to a sense of continuity. None of these elements demand interpretation. They offer themselves quietly, inviting awareness to rest alongside them. Inner balance often grows from allowing experiences to be incomplete. Conversations that happen without us remain unfinished stories, and that incompleteness does not diminish their validity or ours. It simply reflects the many threads of experience weaving independently. Accepting this can feel grounding, as if there is no need to chase every thread. In this calm state, the mind may notice how it responds to absence. Absence does not have to imply loss or exclusion. It can simply mark a boundary of attention. Boundaries, in this sense, are not barriers. They are gentle edges that define where awareness rests at any given moment. There is a quiet reassurance in recognizing that awareness can shift naturally. It moves from sound to sensation, from thought to stillness, without requiring direction. This movement reflects adaptability rather than instability. It shows that awareness is responsive, capable of settling wherever it is needed. As the flow of reflection continues, it may become clear that stillness does not oppose activity. Stillness exists alongside movement, offering a counterbalance. Even when thoughts are present, there can be a still quality beneath them, like a calm current under a rippling surface. This underlying calm does not need to be protected or maintained. It is not fragile. It remains accessible even as attention moves. Recognizing this can bring a sense of trust in the natural resilience of awareness. There are moments when the mind may revisit the idea of conversations happening elsewhere, not with concern, but with a gentle acknowledgement. These moments can serve as reminders of the vastness of shared experience. They highlight how many perspectives and interactions exist simultaneously, each valid within its own context. Reflecting on this vastness does not require comparison. It does not ask awareness to expand beyond its natural scope. It simply acknowledges that experience is broader than any single point of view. This acknowledgement can feel humbling in a calm, neutral way, without diminishing individual presence. As awareness rests, sensations may become more noticeable. The subtle feeling of contact with the ground, the quiet temperature of the air, the steady rhythm of breathing. These sensations anchor attention gently, offering a sense of continuity that does not rely on thought. There is comfort in allowing attention to return to these simple sensations. They exist in the present moment, uncomplicated and direct. They do not ask for interpretation. They simply are, offering a steady reference point amid changing thoughts. The mind may also notice how it creates meaning through association. A sound may trigger a memory, a phrase may evoke an image. These associations arise naturally, without intention. Observing them without following their narratives allows them to pass through awareness without lingering. This approach supports a sense of mental rest. Rest, in this context, is not inactivity. It is the absence of unnecessary engagement. It allows thoughts to exist without requiring response. There is a quiet confidence in allowing awareness to be selective without effort. Attention naturally focuses where it is drawn, and it naturally releases what no longer holds interest. This selectivity does not need to be controlled. It operates smoothly on its own. As reflections deepen, it may become apparent that balance does not require symmetry. Experiences do not need to be evenly distributed or fully understood to feel balanced. Balance emerges from the way awareness meets each moment, with openness and neutrality. The idea of patience can take on a softer meaning here. Patience is not about waiting for something to change. It is about allowing moments to unfold at their own pace. This allowance does not anticipate outcomes. It rests with what is present. There is also room to notice how silence functions within experience. Silence is not empty. It holds space for sounds to arise and fade. It supports reflection without directing it. Silence can feel like a backdrop that remains steady regardless of activity. Within this silence, awareness can feel supported rather than isolated. Silence offers a sense of continuity that does not depend on external input. It allows attention to rest without feeling disconnected. As the mind continues to observe, it may notice how easily it adapts to quiet. What may initially feel unfamiliar can become comfortable with gentle exposure. This adaptation does not require effort. It occurs naturally as awareness remains open. The presence of calm does not eliminate complexity. Complex thoughts and emotions may still arise. Calm simply provides a context in which they can be observed without becoming overwhelming. It offers space around them. This spaciousness allows experiences to coexist without conflict. Thoughts about elsewhere and sensations here do not interfere with each other. They occupy different layers of awareness, each acknowledged without preference. There is value in recognizing that attention does not need to be everywhere at once. Limitation, in this sense, is not a weakness. It is a feature that allows depth of experience. By resting where attention naturally falls, awareness can feel more grounded. As reflection continues, it may become easier to sense how moments pass without leaving a trace. Many experiences move through awareness quietly, without imprinting themselves deeply. This transience can feel reassuring, as it suggests that not everything needs to be carried forward. The present moment offers a consistent point of reference. Regardless of what thoughts arise, the present remains available. It does not change in response to reflection. It simply continues, steady and accessible. There is a gentle humility in acknowledging that awareness is always partial. It never captures the entirety of experience. This humility does not diminish presence. It simply aligns awareness with reality as it is. Allowing this understanding to settle can reduce the impulse to fill gaps with speculation. Gaps can remain open without discomfort. They do not demand completion. They simply mark the edges of awareness. In this openness, there is room for quiet acceptance. Acceptance does not mean agreement or approval. It means acknowledging what is present without resistance. This acknowledgement can feel calming, as it reduces internal friction. As awareness rests in this state, it may notice subtle shifts in mood or tone. These shifts do not need explanation. They can be observed as part of the natural ebb and flow of experience. There is also room to notice how attention responds to repetition. Sounds repeat, thoughts repeat, yet each repetition occurs in a slightly different context. Recognizing this subtle variation can keep awareness engaged without strain. The flow of reflection does not need to lead anywhere. It can continue without direction, supported by curiosity rather than intention. This undirected flow allows awareness to explore without becoming goal-oriented. As moments unfold, the idea of conversations happening without us may lose its significance. It becomes just another observation among many, neither emphasized nor dismissed. It settles into the background of awareness. This settling does not erase the observation. It simply places it in context. Many things exist at once, and awareness does not need to prioritize them all. There is a quiet steadiness in allowing attention to remain with what feels most immediate. This immediacy is not dramatic. It is subtle and often overlooked. Yet it offers a sense of grounding that is reliable. The environment continues to support this grounding. Subtle sounds, gentle movements of air, the stable presence of physical surroundings. These elements remain consistent, offering continuity amid internal variation. As awareness continues, it may notice how easily it can return to simplicity. Complexity arises naturally, but simplicity remains accessible. This accessibility can feel reassuring, as if there is always a place to rest. The mind does not need to resolve its reflections. They can remain open-ended. This openness allows for flexibility, preventing thoughts from becoming fixed or rigid. There is also space to notice how attention responds to familiarity. Familiar sensations and sounds may fade into the background, while new ones stand out briefly. This dynamic keeps awareness responsive without requiring effort. As reflections deepen, the sense of being present may feel more pronounced. Presence here is not a heightened state. It is a quiet acknowledgement of being aware. It does not require intensity.